Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm grateful to be here for the opportunity to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll begin with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna devotees, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 4, chapter 13, verse number 35. The chapter is entitled as Description of the Descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. Iti Vavasita Vipras Tasya Rajñam Prajataye Tasya Rajñam Prajataye Purodasam Niravapan Shiti Vishtaya Vishnave. Prabhus. Iti Vavasita Vipras Tasya Rajñam Prajataye Purodasam Niravapan Shri Vishnaya Vishnave. Yidhi Vavasita Vipras Tasya Rajñam Prajataye Purodasam Niravapan Shri Vishnaya. Iti Vavasita Vipras Tasya Rajñam Prajataye Purodasam Niravapan Shri Vishnaya Vishnu. Synonyms. Iti. Thus. Vivasitaha. Having decided. Vipraha. The Brahmanas. Tasya. His. Rajyaha. Of the king. Prajataye. For the purpose of getting a son. Purodasham. The paraphernalia of sacrifice. Niravapan. Offered. Shri Vishtaya. To the Lord, who is situated in the sacrificial fire. Vishnave, to Lord Vishnu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thus, for the sake of a son for King Angal, they decided to offer oblations to Lord Vishnu, who is situated in the hearts of all living entities. Purport. According to sacrifice rituals, animals are sometimes sacrificed in the yajna arena. Such animals are sacrificed not to kill them, but to give them a new life. Such action was an experiment to observe whether the Vedic mantras were being properly pronounced. Sometimes, small animals are killed in a medical laboratory to investigate therapeutic effects. In a medical clinic, the animals are not revived, but in the yajna arena, when animals were sacrificed, they were given life. They were again given life by the potency of Vedic mantras. The word Shipivishtarya appears in this verse. Shipi means the flames of the sacrifice. In the sacrificial fire, if the oblations are offered into the flames, then Lord Vishnu is situated there in the form of the flames. Therefore, Lord Vishnu is known as Shipivishta. We'll do the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-jana-shalakaya Chakshurun-militam yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-mano-vishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamayyam Tadadi Swarpadadikam Vandeham Shri-Guru Shri-Yuga-padakamalam Shri-Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Satyajata Sadhana Raghunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Ladita Sri Krishna Vinamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Panta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavadeshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sandubhya Eva Cha Patitana Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminidhi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was more into the spiritual master using the concept knowledge and investment good basis. I sincerely seek the blessings of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and our Supreme Lordships, and all the assembled Vaishnavas here, so that the right words come through my mouth, and let me attempt to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we are in Canto 4, chapter 13, verse number 35. Amazing chapter. We just read about how Dhruva Maharaj went back to the spiritual world. After that, Sukadeva Goswami, he is speaking to all the rishis, and in that conversation, he is saying how Vidura, he was so curious. He wants to know more and more. So he is requesting Maitreya Rishi, please tell me more. What happened to Prachedas? How did they do this? Then he went on and on. Then he spoke about King Vena and Anga. And in the meanwhile, he said about almost 7 generations, I believe, after Dhruva Maharaj, his son Utkala, he was actually an exalted devotee, but apparently he appeared very, kind of a low profile in nature. He didn't want to, kind of make his abilities shown outside. So due to which the people around, he's not that intelligent. Then he thought, then they decided instead of Utkal, we'll make, what's his name? Vatsara. Vatsara to be, who is actually his, cousin. Is that right? Cousin. To be the next king. Brother as the next king. And then so many descendants, Pushparna, Vyushta, then comes Sarvateja. Sarvateja's son is the Chakshisha Manu, who is the sixth Manu. And then his son is Ulmika. Ulmika's son is Anga. And Anga's son is Vena. So he told how Vena was a very cruel man. And he was so cruel that he got literally cursed by the Brahmanas. Then Vidura got another question. How is that? Anga is such a great person. And how did he get such a bad rascal son? Then further, the description started. It said about how initially, when Anga did not have a son and they were performing sacrifice, the demigods didn't appear. Then he asked, what offense did I do? The Brahmana said, you didn't do any offense now, but in the previous life you did. So due to which you have to go through. But there is a solution. Do the same yajna for Lord Vishnu to please the Supreme Lord. Yajnartha Uttar Sangha Samachar. Yajna, work has to be done, sacrifice has to be done for Vishnu. Otherwise, that same work will get us into bondage. So this got straight into his heart. Yes, I should do this yajna to please Lord Vishnu. So he started performing, and then finally, by the blessings of the Lord, Lord appeared and he accepted the oblations. Then he begot the son. So just right before that, this is the place where we are. So for the sake of his son, King Anga, they decided to offer oblations to Lord Vishnu, who is situated in the hearts of all living entities as Brahma. And beautifully, Prabhupada says, purport, in the sacrificial rituals, sometimes animals are sacrificed. And interestingly, the Brahmanas were so pure and the mantras were so potent, they could revive the animal back in a new, fresh body. So, in fact, it is a good deal, good offer. Whenever you feel I'm little old, please make me, give me an exchange offer. So, we'll get an exchange new body. So, that was allowed. But these days, these yajnas are not recommended. Why? It's very difficult to get pure ingredients, very difficult to get pure-hearted brahmanas, very difficult to get a pure pronunciation. Even if there is a slight mistake that can go wrong, you have known many, many pastimes and stories. And further, it is also said every yuga has a process for deliverance. In Satya Yuga, the process was Dhyayato. What is Dhyayato? Is the meditation. And then the next yuga is the Yajna, and then followed by Dvapara Yuga, which is temple worship, deity worship in an elaborate way. And the fourth yuga, which is Kali Yuga, the process recommended is Talo Tat Hari Kirtana. To chant the holy names of the Lord is the process. So real yajna. Yesterday, Rohinandan Prabhu gave a realized glance yesterday. He said straight away, the only process that's going to work in Kali Yuga and all the yugas is chanting of the holy names. And that is very powerful. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. Because it's coming directly from the Lord. And there are no hard and fast rules. Jayavad Maharaj says, but there are soft and slow rules. That means you can chant anywhere, anytime. at any circumstances. In fact, there is nothing can that contaminate holy name. In fact, there is no offense anyone can commit that cannot be rectified, that cannot be taken care by the holy name. So holy name is so potent. So that's why in Kali Yuga, the recommended process is congregational chanting, Harinam Sankirtan. So that is very clear. And Prabhupada further says, Prabhupada always liked to pull the leg of the scientists. He said, but those people, when they do laboratory, they kill animals, but the animals don't come. In fact, they kill them cruelly. So that is going to cause more bondage, more sinful reaction they have to suffer. And further, Prabhupada says about, in the flames of the sacrifice. And he clearly says, Lord Vishnu is situated. That's why this yajna is recommended to King Anga. And that is what is about this verse today, since the word sacrificial, sacrificing animals came. I immediately remembered one of the pastimes of Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Many of you might have heard about the sons of Shivaya Acharya. And today is also the wonderful and divine disappearance day of Sri Narottam Das Thakur. So we are going to attempt to relish the pastimes of Sri Narottam Das Thakur. And as you all know very clearly, I have no qualification, no realization, but still, by all your blessings and the blessings of my spiritual master, I will try to attempt to relish the drop of the ocean of the pastimes of Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Sri Narottam Das Thakur is one of the prominent acharyas in our sampradaya. Many times Srila Prabhupada said, these songs, so many wonderful songs. Today I was actually having a deep desire because the Guru Puja prayers is sung by Narottam Das Thakur. We can clearly see. That's why he says, Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Oh Lokanath Goswami, please be merciful unto me. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopi Chamanala Brahman ki jai. Entire of you are already ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. So he gave me the opportunity to sing the song. Thank you, Prabhu. And Prabhupada would say, all the songs, most of the very popular songs are written by Narottam Das Thakur. Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dha. All these songs. And also, whenever there is a disappearance day of great Acharya, what song do we sing? Jaya Nilo Premadhana Karunam Pracho. That song also written by Narottam Das Thakur. So, these divine songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Prabhupada said, they are as powerful as the Vedic hymns. And they are amazing. And knowing the pastimes of wonderful devotees like Narottam Das Thakur, it is not different from the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada's words, they are not different. Why? Because they also purify you. They also give you inspiration. In fact, the pastimes of devotees will give you more inspiration. And you get into the ecstatic mood to follow in their footsteps. And very rare, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted and he prophesied some devotees' appearance. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prophesied the appearance of Narottam. During sannyas, after taking sannyas, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, he took a road to go via Ramkeli. Ramkeli at that time was the capital of King Nawab Hussain Shah. And that is the place, that is not important to us. That is the place where these great personalities, greatest of all pure devotees, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Anupam, they were living there. So Mahaprabhu wanted to bless them. So he went there and in the night they had a very secret meeting with Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and Anupam along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was so happy. After that, they had an ecstatic kirtan. During the kirtan, at one particular time, Mahaprabhu, suddenly he started showing the ecstatic symptoms and his body was trembling and his voice was faltering and tears started profusely rolling down from his eyes. And he looked little far away, a village known as Keturigram. And he said, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. And everybody was surprised. But they understood there must be a great personality will be soon appearing in that place. And then Lord Nityananda Prabhu smilingly looked at Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said, Nityananda Prabhu, you are the Adi Guru. So when the right time comes, you should remind Narottam Das to come and take bath in this very holy river Padma. Why? Because I am going to invest all my prema into this river so that Narottam, when he takes bath, he can get it. And Nityananda Prabhu smiled and agreed. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on further. After some years, there was this king, great king, known as Krishnananda Datta. And his amazing wife, her name was Narayani. Both of them were very illustrious, very wonderful people. And they begot a son. And in Bengal, this ceremony is very popular. The name giving ceremony and also grain feeding ceremony. It's very popular there. They are done in a very big way. So after some time, an astrologer was called. And astrologer was a very qualified astrologer. And looking at the astrology chart, he was amazed and said, look at this chart. This is not an ordinary person. He is an exalted personality. And he is the greatest of all human beings. So he must be named as Narottam. And he was named as Narottam. Soon after that, they were trying to do the feeding ceremony, grain feeding ceremony, Annaprashna. And they were trying to feed grain to Narottam, the little Narottam. But Narottam, he literally turned his face away and he kept his lips very tight. Those who have fed kids, sometimes when the kids don't want to eat, they really keep their lips tight and you cannot put anything in. So it can be frustrating. So they tried and tried and tried. The baby was not ready to open the mouth. And suddenly the astrologer said, I have a solution. I understood. Didn't I tell you he's a great Vaishnava, greatest of all devotees? So did you offer this food to Krishna? I said, no. That is the problem. Go offer immediately. They offered. They brought the prasad. Immediately Narottam opened his mouth and consumed every morsel. And everyone becomes so happy. Krishnananda Datta, he said, I am taking a vow today. I am not going to feed anything that is not prasad to my beloved Narottam. And everybody was surprised. He was just an infant. How did he know that this prasad, this bhoga was not offered? And he wanted only prasad. That is the illustrious qualities of Narottam Das Tagore. From the very beginning, he became the darling of everyone in the village. Everyone longed to see the divine face of Narottam and his divine pastimes. Years went by. And Narottam Das Tagore, from his very young age, he was completely detached. Remind you, he is the son of a king. He is a prince. And so much wealth, abundance of wealth and facilities, where Narottam was least attached with any of the men. He was completely detached. And that was kind of making the parents worried. So generally parents will think if son is not, in the straight line, they will say, get him married. So they started looking for a suitable, girl for Narottam. And years went by. He was about 12 years old. At that time, Narottam Das Tagore, he would always associate with a wonderful devotee known as Krishnadas. And this Krishnadas was an amazing Brahmana, and he is a lover of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So whenever he would come, he would always talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, the pastime, how wonderful they had different activities and pastimes in different places. And this literally attracted the heart of Narottam. Narottam was longing when he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left by then. He was heartbroken. He said, such an unfortunate person I am. I appeared in a time when Mahaprabhu already left and most of his associates already left. So he was feeling so miserable. And in that way, he was crying and weeping and he fell asleep. And he had an amazing vision and dream. And in that dream, Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared. He said, my dear Narottam, don't worry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has deposited all his love in river Padma. So please go take your bath in river Padma. Immediately next day, he went to River Padma with so much prayerful mood, with humility, utmost humility. He entered the River Padma. And just rewinding back a little bit. So when Mahaprabhu was investing in River Padma asked, how would I know, how would I recognize that Narottam is entering? He said, when he enters, your water will swirl in ecstasy. So you would immediately be able to recognize him. So that's what happened. When Narottam Das Thakur, he stepped in, immediately River Padma understood. The water became so ecstatic that it was swirling and the waves were swirling. And Narottam Das Thakur entered and Mahaprabhu in a divine form appeared and embraced Narottam Das. And he invested all his prema in the heart of Narottam. And he also deposited all his compassion for the fallen souls in the heart of Narottam Das. And Narottam Das' complexion completely transformed into a golden complexion, from darker complexion to a golden complexion. And as soon as he came out, he was fully in an ecstatic mood. He was constantly chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Constantly chanting. He did not even go home. The parents were worried. Where is Narottam? And they came. Someone said he is at the river bank. They came to the river bank and they realized his body complexion completely changed to golden. And he was fully in the ecstatic mode. The parents got even more worried. What will happen to our son? Then the king, Krishnananda, he decided we should have gods all the time. We should never let him be alone. Otherwise, he may walk out. So they kept very, very carefully watching him all the time. But Narottam's heart is always with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he kept on. The only thing he liked is to associate with Krishnadas, to hear the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu associates, and to constantly chant the holy name. This was the only thing he kept on doing again and again. And again, he felt the separation of Mahaprabhu so deeply, and he had a dream. In that dream, Mahaprabhu appeared and said, go to Vrindavan. And he woke up. Then he started crying more and more. And he fainted in that separation. Second time Mahaprabhu appeared. At this time, Mahaprabhu appeared along with all his associates, wonderful associates. And all of them, they said, go to Vrindavan. And Vrindavan, and every one of them said, Mahaprabhu, he wants you to spread this message across all over the places. And Mahaprabhu has given you this amazing service. You are the embodiment of Kirtan. In this way, all the associates of Mahaprabhu also encouraged him, and he decided, I got to go to Vrindavan now. But how? The gods are watching all the time. One day, Krishnananda, along with all the important ministers, they had to go to another city for business. At that time, his mother was alone. He tricked his mother and somehow escaped home and started going to Vrindavan. Mind you, he's the prince. Always lived in utmost comforts. But now with barefoot, with no facilities, no comforts, he was literally walking through the dense forest to go to Vrindavan. But internally, he was completely happy. Nothing external affected him. He kept going and going with the holy names. He kept on chanting and dancing. Wherever he went, he churned the heart. He literally attracted the hearts of all the citizens there. And they all loved Narottam. They all begged him, please stay here, don't go anywhere. But Narottam would, plead them, please allow me to go to Vrindavan. Please bless me. So in that way, he will kept on going to Vrindavan. Finally, he came to Mathura. He took back the Vishram bed. At that time, he met a Brahmana. And the Brahmana said, are you Narottam? He said, yes. Narottam, we are so happy to see you. And Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami have already left. Jiva Goswami is awaiting for you. Hearing this, again is heartbroken. Why did I appear in such a time that all Mahaprabhu and his great associates have already left? I'm so unfortunate. Then he started crying. At that time, he fell unconscious. Mahaprabhu appeared in vision again. And he said, go to Vrindavan and you accept Lokanath Goswami as your spiritual master and study and serve under the guidance of Sri Jiva Goswami. Then he woke up, he went to Vrindavan. First, he went to Radha Govind temple and he was worshipping the Lord with most devotion, with so much humility. And the news by then spread everywhere. He said, Narottam is here, Narottam is here. And Jiva Goswami was jubilant. And Srinivas Acharya came to Jiva Goswami and said, yesterday night was an extraordinary experience. I did not even sleep a bit. I was constantly chanting the holy names. And I'm so fresh. And Jiva Goswami said, it's because a great personality is already here. Narottam, let us go. As soon as Srinivas Acharya heard the name Narottam, his heart felt so much ecstatic. His joy knew no bounds. He immediately wanted to meet Narottam Das Thakur. So Jiva Goswami came all the way. And everyone, all the devotees, they came to visit Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam Das Thakur was getting blessings from everyone. When Jiva Goswami came, he literally kept him on his lap and embraced him and gave him so much love and affection. And when he saw Srinivas Acharya, immediately they know he's my best friend. Their friendship friendship between Srinivas Acharya and Narottam Das Thakur, it is a great example for all the time to come. Such divine exchanges, such deep affection and love they had for one another. And then he was eagerly looking forward to meet Lokanath Goswami. Then Lokanath Goswami heard Narottam is here because the prophecy of Mahaprabhu has reached everyone. So everyone knew. Imagine if Mahaprabhu is predicting someone's appearance and that person is here, how will we feel? So everybody was coming. And Narottam Das Thakur, deep in his heart, he was at most humble. He was not even having a tinge of pride. That is the quality of Narottam Das Thakur. And when he approached Lokanath Goswami and said, oh, my beloved Lokanath Goswami, I've been longing to have your association. And please accept me as your disciple. Let us understand, Lokanath Goswami is an extraordinary, amazing Vaishnava. In fact, even before Mahaprabhu sent Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami to Vrindavan, he sent Lokanath Goswami and Bhugarbha Goswami to go to Vrindavan. And both of them, they are exalted personalities. Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur, before writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, when he was ordered to write Chaitanya Charitamrita, he went around the whole Vrindavan taking blessings from every Vaishnava there. First of all, he took blessings from his Guru and all the senior Vaishnavas, and he also went to Lokanath Goswami. And Lokanath Goswami, many of us may not realize, he is one of the deeply confidential devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, confidential associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why we don't know much past times? It's because Lokanath Goswami, when Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur came to him for blessings, he said, I will give you blessings with one condition. He said, what is the condition? In your book, you should never mention about me. How can I do that? Because you have done so many amazing, wonderful pastimes, and you are one of the confidential associates. He said, only then I can give you blessings. Then he had to agree. That is the reason Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur's hands were tied not to keep the name of Lokanath Goswami. That is Lokanath Goswami's humility. And when Narottam Das Thakur said, he said, I've taken a vow and a resolution that I'm not going to initiate any disciples. I'm very fallen. And you are such a great person. Mahaprabhu prophesied your appearance. And in fact, Mahaprabhu told, literally guided you in every step. You don't even need a guru. You're already guided by Mahaprabhu. And Narottam Das Thakur's heart was broken. He said, and he further said, Lokanath Goswami, in fact, Mahaprabhu personally embraced you and he invested all the prema in your heart. He said, yes, that is true. Mahaprabhu embraced me because Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavan. He gives mercy to the most fallen as being. I'm so fallen. I need your shelter. Please accept me as a disciple. But Lokanath Goswami, out of his humility, said, I'm a very fallen devotee. I don't want to accept any disciples. Please understand. And Lokanath Goswami, when he kept saying like this, Narottam Das Thakur, his heart was broken. He was in tears. But he took a resolution. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to serve my spiritual master, Lokanath Goswami. Think about it. You got such an amazing blessings. prophesied personally by Mahaprabhu. You went to approach your Guru, and your Guru says, I cannot initiate you. You think what would be the situation? Narottam Das Thakur was deeply affected by that. But he had faith in Mahaprabhu's words. He kept serving. He would serve because Lokanath Goswami also said, Narottam, you are actually a prince and you are very well educated. And so, to do menial service, to engage him in menial service, everyone would hesitate, right? He's a prince. He is also personally blessed by Mahaprabhu. So, Narottam Das Thakur, he would do service in such a way that no one watches. Think about it. Many times when we do service, what is our attitude? What is our intention? Do we want to make sure that our leader sees us? Do we want to make sure that our Bhakti leader notices? If we have that desire, we are missing the point. Here, Narottam Das Thakur, he was menially serving. His service was every day Lokanath Goswami would go, he will wake up very early in the morning and would go to Yamuna to take bath. And before taking bath, he would, answer the call of nature. So he would go to a forest where it's a regular place. He would go and answer the call of nature. And Narottam Das Thakur observed it, and every day he would wake up earlier than Lokanath Goswami and he would go and with his own hands, he will clean the place where Lokanath Goswami would answer the nature of calls. And he would clean in such a way that it looks so fresh with soft sand. He would also keep fresh water for washing purposes. And Lokanath Goswami would wonder every day, he is doing this. Every day this place looks clean and there is fresh water, everything looks so fresh. So he decided, I need to find out who this person is. So one day, he woke up even before everyone. In the midnight, he came and hid behind a bush. And he was seeing this young Narottam with a broom in his hand, with so much devotion and service attitude. He was coming and sweeping the floor and cleaning the urine and stool of his spiritual master with his own hands and making sure the place is super clean. And Lokanath Goswami saw his heart was broken. Narottam, Narottam, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You are a prince and you are an exalted Vaishnava. You've been blessed by Mahaprabhu. Why are you doing this? He said, Narottam immediately said, Oh, my master, I am so unfortunate that I am not getting the mercy of my spiritual master, your divine grace. What I have is only this service. And by hearing these words, Lokanath Goswami's heart melted. He embraced him and he said, I will initiate you. Lokanath Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. And after initiating him, Lokanath Goswami said, now you must go to Srila Jiva Goswami and there you will have the wonderful association of another two exalted Vaishnavas. And Jiva Goswami will teach you the important aspects of bhakti in the footsteps of, following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So he took him to Jiva Goswami and he entrusted him and he requested Jiva Goswami to teach him the deeper aspects of bhakti. And in Jiva Goswami's Radha Damodar temple, there were two other exalted Vaishnavas, Srinivas Acharya and Shyamanand Pandit. And when they saw each other, they embraced and a deep friendship and love, which is a great example forever. And I heard from my Guru Maharaj, he was mentioning, such a great example every devotee in ISKCON must follow and get inspired from. Narottam Das Thakur is disciple of Lokanath Goswami. And Srinivas Acharya is disciple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Shyamananda Pandit is disciple of Hridaya Chaitanya Maharaj. So, all of them are disciples of different Maharajas. But the deep friendship they had for one another, the love they had for one another, is a great example because their single purpose is to serve and please Mahaprabhu and his associates. So that is how every devotee should have. It does not matter what our differences are and who our spiritual masters. Our singular purpose is to please our beloved Srila Prabhupada. Deep in our heart, we have deep attachment and love for our spiritual master. But when we serve together, come together, there must be unity. Prabhupada said, when there is a love and trust, that will take this movement forward and this movement will spread everywhere. Love and trust is the essence of Vaishnavism. And this went on. They had amazing pastimes with Jiva Goswami. And one day Jiva Goswami thought, I must send these three boys to Vrindavan Parikrama. Can you imagine? They're living in Vrindavan, but without their guru's permission, they did not even go out. So Vrindavan, Jiva Goswami, he called a devotee, Raghava Pandit Goswami, and he said, can you please, and Raghava Pandit Goswami used to live in the caves of Govardhan. And he said to him, can you please take this three wonderful devotees to Vrindavan Parikrama? And he agreed. And the path they took to go to Vrindavan Parikrama is recorded in the fifth wave of Bhakti Ratnakar. And in fact, all our Vrindavan Yatras, we follow according to how Narottam Das Thakur went on Vrindavan Parikrama. And they went around different holy places, different Leela places, Leela Sthalis. And their heart was dancing in ecstasy. Wherever they went, they had such an amazing kirtan and service. And in the meanwhile, because the time is running, I just want to move on to some other pastimes. Please excuse me. It's very, very lengthy, super ecstatic and amazing to hear in the interest of time. One fine day, Janava Mata, who is the senior most devotee at that time, the consort of Nityananda Prabhu, she sent a message to Jiva Goswami. The devotees in Bengal, they are so dried up because of the separation from Mahaprabhu's associates. And at this time, please send the books of the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur immediately to Bengal. We need it right now. Jiva Goswami, because it is coming from Janava Mata, he immediately made nice arrangement. Put all the literature of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur, Jiva Goswami in a very nice box, and they arranged an ox cart. And they called Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, and they arranged for 12 more security guards. Take it very carefully. These are the only copies available. This is the treasure. There is nothing more precious than this. So take care of it so nicely and hand over to Janava Mata. And they took it. It is such a great service. Before going there, they went around. First, they took blessings from their Guru Maharajas, Loknath Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and all of them, and all the Vaishnavas there. And then they set on the journey. Everything went well. They finally reached the borders of Gaudadesh, the border in the Bengal. At that time, there is a kingdom known as Vana Vishnupuram. When they reached there, that day they took rest. And in that kingdom, the king's name is Veer Hambir. The kingdom was very wealthy because this Veer Hambir is a very chalu man. So what he would do is, he had a very expert thieves who were coming along. These thieves will literally rob them and take this wealth to the king. And with that, the kingdom was flourishing. So he had a team of thieves. And one day, one astrologer told them, three great personalities are coming from Vrindavan and they have the utmost treasure. So rob them. And these thieves took charm, quietly they came because they didn't realize that they were in such ecstatic kirtan and chanting. They went to sleep. When they woke up next morning, to their shock, they could not see the ox cart full of books. Can you think about it? We cannot even imagine. Their heart was broken. They were howling. They were weeping. They were crying so loudly. What have we done? We lost the utmost treasure. These are the only copies of the literature of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur, Jiva Goswami. And they are lost now. What will happen to our parampara now? That is their plight. And they were all heartbroken. In fact, they thought we should give up our life. What is the use of weeping? And they kept on weeping and weeping and weeping. And suddenly, Srinivas Acharya, he heard a divine voice. He said, don't worry, Srinivas. Soon you will get the books In the meanwhile, you send all these devotees to go on preaching. So immediately Srinivasacharya conveyed this message. Narottam Das Thakur, you go this way. Shamananda Pandit, you go this way. Let us start preaching. Eventually we'll get it. With that hope, because Srinivasacharya said it, he took it. With that faith, they went further. And Narottam Das Thakur went to Ketri Gram. That is the place where he was born and raised, Ketri. And then, after Narottam Das Thakur left, because he was supposed to be the king, son and king, but he rejected that and he became, he came to Vrindavan. His cousin brother, Santosh Dutt, he became king. Narottam Das Thakur, he went to Santosh Dutt and he spoke to him. And Santosh Das was so happy seeing his brother Narottam. And he knew he's not an ordinary person. So he inquired from him. And Narottam Das Thakur explained all the inner aspects of bhakti. Santosh Das immediately surrendered and said, I am yours. I am your disciple now. Please accept me. And my kingdom is all yours. That was Santosh Das. And there, Srinivasacharya, there further, he actually in that place in Vana Vishnupuram, because now he has to get the books. So he saw some pundits, they were discussing some debate, they were discussing some topic. And Srinivasacharya said, that's not right. That's not how it should be. The pundits became angry and said, if you know, then you talk. Srinivasacharya started speaking one by one. The pundits got completely amazed. He said, wow, we have never heard anything like this. And then they took him to the king. And the king, Virahambir, he also listened to Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya spoke so amazingly from Srimad Bhagavatam. Everyone's heart completely transformed. From Virahambir and all the pundits, everyone surrendered and said, please accept us as your disciples. Srinivasacharya initiated all of them from Virahambir. And after initiation, the disciple is supposed to give a dakshina. And he came to Guru and said, oh my Guru Maharaj, what dakshina can I give? Srinivasacharya said, you know what? We have lost the great literatures of our beloved acharyas. Can you send your man, get the books? He said, what are you talking? He said, the books of acharyas. They are with me. Srinivasacharya said, they are with you? Please get them now, immediately. Virahambir became so happy and he brought all the books to Srinivasacharya. Think about it. You lost all the literature, now they are right in front of you. What an ecstatic feeling. When he picked up every literature, tears flowed from his eyes. His heart was erupting with ecstasy. And he was embracing and he was worshipping. Then he started offering arti, offering garlands and flowers. And Srinivasacharya became so happy. And he sent the message to Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit. Meanwhile, here, Narottam Das Thakur, he went further. After, from Keturigram, he went to Jagannath Puri. There is so much in between, but, we are literally running out of time. Please, is that okay if we take a few more minutes? Okay? Yeah. Maybe another 15 minutes? Is it okay? Is it too long? Thank you. Then he went to Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, he heard all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu there from his associates. And first he went to the place known as Dandabanganadi. Dandabanganadi is the place where Nityananda Prabhu broke the Danda of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he went to Sarovar, Nanda Sarovar? Forgot the name. Yes, he took bath there where the devotees used to have wonderful pastimes, sporting class pastimes. After that, one Brahmana came to Narottam Das Thakur. And one thing I missed, please excuse me. After seeing the devotional qualities and his extraordinary ability to, learn scriptures and be able to reproduce the scriptures, our Jiva Goswami has awarded a title to him. He said, from now on, you will be called as Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya. So he's already become Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya. It's a great honoring title given by the most exalted Jiva Goswami. Now coming back again to Jagannath Puri. There, one Brahmana came and he asked, are you the great Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya? He said, yes. We've been waiting for you. Mahaprabhu already told us about you. Wherever he went, he spoke about Narottam Das Tagore. So he said, my son, he will take you personally to all the pastime places. Then his son, he took Narottam Das Tagore to darshan, to take a darshan of Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. And he had such an amazing darshan and had amazing kirtan there. Then he went to different places where Mahaprabhu and his associates had wonderful pastimes. Then he came to the house of Gopinath Acharya, and we all heard. Then he, went to the place of Tota Gopinath temple too. But he heard all the pastimes. So one day when he was resting in Gopinath Acharya's house, at that time he had a vision again, Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said him to go back to Keturigram. So again, he started sitting. He said to the Brahmana and said, now I have to go back to Keturi. And he came back all the way. And well, they happened to meet all these devotees, Srinivas Acharya and Shamanand Pandit. So they are meeting their closest of all friends. So when they met each other after so long time, they became very happy and embraced and had amazing kirtan. At that time, they thought about it. Now let us have a reunion because there's so much pastimes happen. So he wanted Narottam Das Thakur had the desire to get all the Vaishnavas, everyone here, because when he went to Jagannath Puri and many places there, he met even in places in Bengal, he met several great devotees. He met Raghunandan Thakur, he met Narhari Sarkar, and many of them. So he wanted to invite all these devotees. So they decided we will celebrate a huge festival. And they said, let us celebrate Gaur Purnima. That is the first Gaur Purnima celebrated in a huge scale. So all the devotees and Janava Mata, she sent all these closest associates of Nityananda Prabhu like Minaketan Ramdas and Surya Dev Sarakela, every one of them, Raghunandan Thakur, everyone they came and they had a huge festival. And Santosh Dutt, the brother of and disciple of Narottam Das Thakur, he said, I will take care of everything. I'll use all my wealth from my kingdom to arrange huge pandals, and all the facilities for prasadam, and everything was taken care. In fact, huge palaces were built for devotees to stay in. He took every arrangement. And devotees were so happy. And Narottam Das Thakur had another vision, another dream. Mahaprabhu appeared and said, in one grain storage, my deity is there. And that place is surrounded by so many venomous snakes. So you go get them and install the deity along with 5 other sets of deities. I'll tell you, according to my instructions, you do this. So Narottam Das Thakur woke up and asked around, do you know a place where there is a grain storage and it is filled with venomous snakes? Everybody said, yes, we know. There is a wealthy merchant, and this wealthy merchant has a grain storage. And that grain storage is completely infested by this venomous snakes, thousands of snakes. Nobody goes there, including him. So he went to the merchant and said, Narottam Das Thakur asked, can I go to your grain storage? He said, no, please don't go. There are thousands of snakes there. Narottam Das Thakur said, please allow me to go. Fearless, Narottam Das Thakur walked in. As soon as he stepped in the grain storage, all the snakes, they literally paid obeisances and walked away. They all went to the forest. And he was looking for the deity, and he saw a wonderful deity, beautiful deity of Mahaprabhu along with his consort Vishnu Priya. And when he carried them and came out, everybody was saying, Hariba! And he came out, and he also arranged for 5 other sets of deities, and they arranged for huge installation ceremony. And Srinivas Acharya was the head priest. And he took care of every detail in a perfect way. It was ecstatic to see. And Raghunandan Thakur, who is the close associate of Mahaprabhu, he came forward and he was worshipping the paraphernalia, Kirtan paraphernalia, the kartals and mridanga. He was worshipping them and he was offering flowers and garlands because they are non-different from the paraphernalia of the Lord. Then Anumata said, let's have ecstatic Kirtan. And I forgot to say one more thing because of time rush. Mahaprabhu, in one of his vision, Mahaprabhu actually, I think this happened in, Kirtan happened in Jagannath Puri. At that time, he actually instructed Narottam Das Thakur a new form of kirtan, new type of kirtan. And he said, spread this kirtan across. Narottam Das Tagore, this is Prem Sankirtan. So he started singing that kirtan with this melodious, divine voice. Everybody felt so much ecstasy and happiness there. Narottam started singing and singing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not resist being in the deity form. And along with all the associates, they all came in, all the Panchatattva, they were dancing. Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, and Gadadhar Pandit, everyone was dancing in ecstasy. And remember, this has been many years after Mahaprabhu and associates left. And Jana Mata was seeing her beloved Lord Nityananda Prabhu dancing in ecstasy. Achyutananda was seeing his father, Advaita Acharya, dancing in an amazing ecstasy. And they all danced and danced and danced. In fact, all the young devotees also could dance with the great acharyas and the lordships. And they had such wonderful time. It then went on, and suddenly Mahaprabhu and the associates they disappeared. Think about it. You are dancing with Mahaprabhu and his associates, Panchatattva, and suddenly they disappear. Everybody became so sad in separation. And Janava Mata, who is an expert mother, she has to bring the spirit back. So she said, it is also the holy. Gaur Purnima is also the holy. So let's play holy. So they brought all the colors and they started sprinkling on the Lord's Pushpas and sprinkling on the devotees. And they had again another happy kirtan. And the festival went on. This is how, and so many pastimes to share. And at least, few pastimes of Narottam Das Thakur's disciples. One day, this all happened after the festival, all the devotees, they went back to their respective places. One fine day, Narottam Das Thakur and Ramchandra Kaviraj. Because Srinivas Acharya, he initiated Ramchandra Kaviraj, who was another exalted devotee. And he entrusted Ramchandra Kaviraj. He told Ramchandra Kaviraj to stay with Narottam Das Thakur. And he said, you should constantly serve, never leave. And both of them became the best of friends. And in fact, if you see Ramachandra Sangamage, Narottama Das, you would even say exclusively about Ramachandra Kaviraj. And they were, one fine day, when these two personalities, Narottam Das Thakur and Ramachandra Kaviraj, they saw two nice young boys. And their name is Hariram and Ramakrishna. And they are the son of great Shivaya Acharya in that town. So he saw them, he understood. They are supposed to be a wonderful devotees. So let's do a trick. So Ramchandra Kaviraj and Narottam Das Thakur, they started conversing. They conversed in such a loud way that these boys could hear. These boys, they were actually bringing so many cubs, baby cows, goat, buffaloes, all this for sacrifice. So when they were taking care of them, when they heard these two personalities talking, they got gradually attracted. Then they forgot what they were doing and they started listening with utmost attention. And as they were hearing Narottam Das Thakur and Ramchandra Kaviraj, in fact, they are not conversing. They are giving, preaching to these two devotees. And they heard their heart got completely transformed, said, we are surrendering to you, please accept us as your disciples. So Narottam Das Thakur initiated Harira and Ramchandra Kaviraj initiated Ramakrishna. And Narottam Das Thakur said, see, sacrificing animals, it's not a good idea. And by doing this, we'll get into so much of karmic bondages. And he explained about how each life is so precious and one should be very, compassionate on every living entity. So then they decided to let go of all these animals. And this news went to Shivaya Acharya. Shivaya Acharya was one of the powerful Brahmin. He was very well-known devotee there. He became furious. And he sent his men. And the chief of all the priests, Brahmana, his name is Balaram. So Balaram came. And he came and spoke with Hariram and Ramakrishna. Because they were not coming home. And when they spoke to Balaram, and they convinced Balaram, and they're little boys. And Balaram is the chief of all priests and pandits there. And his heart was fully satisfied and he got convinced. And he literally accepted them as his guru. So, when this also came to Shivaya Acharya, first of all, these two sons is so angry because they left. They even let go of the animals for the sacrifice. He started cursing them. So, you are offending Mother Bhavani. You should not be doing this. You are going against the Brahmanism, and you are taking initiation from Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur was from Kayastha family, which is not considered as a high caste at that time. So he said that we are Brahmins. Why are you doing this? This is an offense. This, that. He went on and on. And he said, you should be punished. Before that, I'm going to get all the big pundits to defeat you, debate with you. He said, all his boys said, bring it on. Let's debate with them. So the pundits came. Within a few seconds, this Harinam and Ramakrishna, they defeated all the pundits. What is happening now? And then he said, we need to get a Digvijay Pandit. His name is Murari. He is like a champion debater. No one can stand in front of him. So he brought Murari, and within seconds, Murari also got defeated. This further infuriated Shivaya Acharya. But because of his offensive mentality, soon Shivaya Acharya, he developed a deadly disease and he was about to die. But at that time, Mother Bhavani appeared and said, you don't know who is Narottam Das Thakur. He is a pure devotee and Krishna is my Lord. Go surrender to Narottam Das Thakur. The Shivacharya, he came to Narottam Das Thakur and begged forgiveness and said, please accept me as a disciple. I'm so sorry for whatever I've done. And Narottam Das Thakur accepted him. In this way, many devotees, many kings, they surrendered to Narottam Das Thakur. One of them was a very famous dacoit. His name is Chandrai. And Chandrai, many times, many devotees share, he is as bad as, not more than Jagai Madai. That much worse he was. He was a murderer and doing all sort of, bad things. And Chandrai, he also, to cut short, when he came to know the Narottam Das Thakur, he also had an encounter with Narottam Das Thakur, and his heart also completely got transformed. And along with all other dacoits, they all surrendered to Narottam Das Thakur. After hearing his Chandrai was a very well-known dacoit. When he got transformed, when Malecha came, he kind of wanted to take this opportunity, so he arrested Chandrai and put him in a cell. And he was literally torturing him every day. But Chandrai was deep in the meditation of the Supreme Lord and is constantly chanting. Nothing external affected him. In fact, he was feeling so humble because of the association of Narottam Das Thakur. And he was feeling all this is because of my previous activities. I deserve much more, but my Lord made it so small. But one day, one of his past associate, he dug a tunnel and came to the cell, and he told Chandrai, please come with me. You just have to get back to the worship of Mother Bhavani. He said, nothing doing. If I have to leave my Krishna, I'm not doing that. And he was there in the cell for more days. And by seeing the qualities of Chandrai, the Mlecha king's heart also got transformed. So in this way, everyone was amazingly inspired and affected very positively into the bhakti, into the devotional service. And many more wonderful pastimes. There is another pastime of King Narsingha and also how Ramchandra Kaviraj and Ganganarayan Chakravarti. But some other time we can discuss. So the final pastimes of Narottam Das Thakur, when he heard Ramchandra Kaviraj also left, he wanted to leave his body. At that time, he told his disciples, make a funeral pyre. And he sat down and he started meditating. A very severe fever came on his body. And 3 days, there was no sign of life. At that time, Ganganarayan Chakravarti, who was the best of the Brahmanas, was the chief of the Brahmanas. He already became his disciple. And the Brahmanas came and literally, so blaspheming to Kanana Chakravarti. He said, it is all because he initiated all the Brahmanas. Even though he was from the Kayastha family, he initiated the Brahmanas. So for that, he is suffering now. It pained everyone's heart. Oh, who is Narottam Das Thakur? So Ganganarayan Chakravarti, he went to Narottam Das Thakur and said, oh my Acharya, oh my Guru Maharaj, I don't mind any blasphemy against me, it's fine, no problem. But they are talking so bad about you, we cannot tolerate. All the devotees are getting so much affected by it. So can you please protect us? And Narottam Das Thakur immediately became so effulgent. Imagine, 3 days there was no sign. Effulgent, and he opened his eyes with a divine voice. He said, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. And everybody became uproaringly happy. And they all said, Hari Bol. And seeing this, all the other Brahmanas who were blaspheming, their heart got transformed. They also surrendered and became disciples of Narottam Das Thakur. And then after some days, then finally Narottam Das Thakur decided, I must leave my body now. He said, take me to the Ganga. At that time he said, see, keep me there and take water from your hands and start pouring on my head. And don't stop at all. And the disciples, they made Narottam Das Thakur sit and they started pouring with their hands the Ganga water. And to everyone's surprise, Narottam Das Thakur's body was turning into milk. So they kept on pouring and his body was dissolving as milk in Mother Ganga. And finally, completely got dissolved in Mother Ganga. And the disciples took the milk and to different places, they have Narottam Das Thakur Samadhi. And in this way, Narottam Das Thakur went back to the spiritual world. And he is Champaka Manjari. Narottam Das Thakur as Champaka Manjari serves under the guidance of Rupa Manjari or Rupa Goswami. Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahashai ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Devotees, please forgive all my mistakes. And if I spoke anything inappropriate, please forgive me as your humble servant. Okay. Hare Krishna. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since it is already 9:30, we'll not go forward with comments and discussion. Please excuse me. We'll end the discussion now. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees in Zoom, I'll end the call now. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.